Hey guys, it's your girl here, Ada B, and welcome back to Let's Talk. So, as you can see by the title today, I'm going to be talking about the Grammys. Now, this wasn't actually my planned talk for this week, but I just thought, you know what? I was left a little stunned by some of the wins. And so I just felt like, you know what, I actually want to talk about this. And I have my own little conspiracy theories, if you like. Might be unpopular, you might completely disagree, or you might agree with me. I would love to know your thoughts. Please make sure that you comment and let me know what you think. But before we even get there, please make sure you hit the thumbs up. You like this video, make sure that you subscribe if you want more of this kind of content. As I've said before, I'm here to talk about all things faith, relationships, space, earth, science, conspiracy theories, and all things in between. So if you're like me and you just have various thoughts that maybe are a little bit unconventional, and you want to have a discussion, this is the place you want to be. Make sure you're also following the socials at Talk Ada B to see what else we've got going on across the platform. Okay, so let's get into the Grammys. The only reason, and I'm being very frank here, that I really tuned into the Grammys this year, and I didn't even really watch it, I just wanted to see who won in certain categories, was because of the introduction of the new category, which is, I think, Best African Music Performance. I think that's the new one, which really surprised me. I didn't realize that that wasn't a category, because I know that African artists have won Grammys in previous years, but I didn't realize that it wasn't for a specific African music category. It was actually just more like I think it's like international global act category, which I was really surprised by. So I have a few things I want to say. Now, first of all, I'm very happy that that's a category that's been introduced. I think it's insane that they've had reggae as a category, and we've seen many non-Black artists win in that category, which is a topic for another day. But I'm like, how you can have one genre of Black descent and not another is just insane to me. Africa is such a huge continent, so for that to not be something that's considered as worthy as its own category at the Grammys, which is like the highest, award that a musician can receive, is insane to me. Like, just insane. So, anyways, really glad that that is actually something that they've introduced. That lineup, though, I'm like, where were all the other African artists? Because there are so many other African artists that I would have liked to have seen on that lineup. No shade to Burna Boy, no shade to Arya Star, no shade to Davido, no shade to Tyler, no shade to Ashake. But I was like, Africa is such a massive continent, and I know that specifically in London and the UK, the majority of Africans here are West African, and they have a very strong presence here. We love their music. Wow. I say we very loosely because if you know me, you know that I'm the biggest fan of Afrobeats. I am very biased when it comes to African music. I really just prefer music from my own country. Not that I have anything against Afrobeats. Of course, Afrobeats is good. It's a good vibe. It's a good time. But yeah, I'll be lying to say that if you ask me which kind of Afrobeats I want to listen to, you think I'm going to throw on Davido and Burna Boy, you're absolutely insane. I'm going to run to my home artists from my country. So, I think in that respect, I'm allowed to be biased. I think we're all kind of biased to our native music, which is absolutely fine. So that lineup to me was already insane. I just thought, okay. Also, I thought the song choices, City Boys, Burna Boy, I was like, I kind of get it, but like also, this is the Grammys we're talking about. Like, I don't know. That song just didn't give me, you're serious about winning a Grammy. Like, the song isn't that good. He's definitely had way better songs, but I guess in terms of songs that have come out in the last year or whatever, I guess that would be, his most popular song. But I just knew they would have stood a chance against Water. Like, Tyler Water was massive everywhere. I haven't actually listened to the full song ever. I've heard like snippets of it like via TikTok and like Instagram and stuff, of course, and I've seen people do like the challenges. But I've actually never actually listened to the full song. But just by the fact that I haven't listened to it, but I've heard it like everywhere on radio, everywhere when I've been out and stuff, I knew that that song was it is the big song. Like out of all the songs that were submitted, that was the biggest song. But yeah, my first gripe with that category was just not seeing other African artists. I thought, yes, I kind of get it. West African artists have definitely been dominating, specifically Nigerians and Ghanaians have been dominating the Afrobeat scene. And then obviously with the introduction of Amapiano in the last few years, it's really, really risen to popularity, which completely makes sense to me because, you know, it's house music. It's African house music basically, so you know, it's literally something that everybody would enjoy and love. So to me, Amapiano makes so much sense. It actually reminds me, there was a time, this was years ago though, like I'm really talking like years ago, I'm probably still in uni, which, you know, some of you might think, didn't you just finish uni, you know, what, 2-3 years ago? No, I finished uni a long time ago. It's kind of crazy to say, but I finished uni a long time ago. But when I was in uni, like, I think probably second year, that was the year I used to go out a lot. Like that year, I went out like probably every single weekend. And one time, me and my girl, because we used to just live like literally around the corner from each other, we would always just link up like after uni or after work or whatever, or just like when we were bored, and we'll just go out and like, we'll just go to new places. So we went to one club one night and they were playing Amapiano, but we had no idea what that was because at that time, dancehall was still the bigger genre. There was what we call here in the UK Afro swing. So it was like rappers rapping, you know, on Afro beats, kind of like what we hear now. But back then it was like, it was really new. You had artists like Sneak Bone, Political Peak. Who else was out around that? Like Young Bane. So these artists were like doing something that was very, very new. There's a plethora of artists I'm forgetting right now, but if I remember them, I might put their names up on here, or I might not. But yeah, that new wave of like Afro beats mixed with like the UK rap scene, it was a very new thing. So yeah, those artists were coming out around that time and they were really popular. So obviously me and my friend, we're both African girls, we're both from East Africa, so we're not like estranged to listen to African music. So to us it's just like great, like you just hearing your favorite upcoming rappers at the time, and now they're spitting on these like Afrobeat songs. I think even J Hus, was J Hus popping when I was in uni? He might have just been starting out. I don't know if he was like J Hus like how we know him now. I don't even know if he put out Friendly. I'm gonna have to fact check that. Anyways, point being, that Afro swing sound was very new to the UK, and it was like for a long time people didn't rate Africans here in the UK. Like Africans were not rated at all. I felt like when I was in school, that was the main thing. Everybody used to lie and say, you know, they're Caribbean. They would never admit to being African. It was only me and my East African friends we used to say, we are East African. No, we don't claim any other heritage. We are East African. I'm from Tanzania. Like we claimed our East African heritage. We were very proud to be East African, but it was not cool to be African. So that also meant the music, the food, the culture, you know, where people talk. So people used to do the whole mocking of like, you know, of the accents and stuff, mainly what we know now as the West African Nigerian accent. People used to like mock Africans with that and stuff. So those rappers kind of coming in on that sound was what really helped change the way that people viewed Africans and viewed African music and culture and everything, like to what it is now. When I was in school, like I said, even when I was in uni, it still wasn't considered necessarily cool to be African. People were still claiming to be, you know, Caribbean or mixed with other things, which they were absolutely not. Yeah, Rastafari. Before it was just dancehall, you know, bashment, like Jamaicans were running the show, and Congo, because they had Kofi Olomide. Kofi Olomide was carrying the Central Republic of Africa in his hands. Kofi's music was played religiously at every single African party. It didn't matter where you were from in Africa, you were going to hear a Kofi song. And actually, it didn't matter where you were in the country. In this United Kingdom, you could go to a pub and Kofi would come on in the pub. That has happened several times when I've been out with my family to eat on a Sunday and stuff like that. Obviously, this is many years ago, but Kofi was like the only kind of African artist that was globally accepted from my understanding back then. There might have been others, but I didn't hear their music like the way I was hearing Kofi. Kofi Olomide was everywhere. But in terms of other Black artists from other countries, it was mainly just the Caribbean, Jamaica. So dancehall, bashment, all of that, you know, even reggae, like super loved, super cherished. So when this Afro swing came in, it kind of changed the vibe, it changed the scene, and it gave this new, like, oh, okay, so African music can be cool, African culture can be cool. Oh, all of this started because I said me and my friend were meant to be going to this club. My word. Bruh. Child, what kind of derailing of thoughts is that? Anyway, so me and my friend go to this club and we are like, listen, we're like, what is this? We've never heard Amapiano before, because I do not like house music. That is not a secret. I don't pretend. I've never pretended to like house music. But that we also had that house era here as well, which people were just trying to learn how to shuffle and all that. And yeah, that was cute. That was fun. You know, the genre, yeah, it wasn't for me. So anyways, we haven't heard of this Amapiano, but we are vibing because it's like house, but obviously it's got the African beats, it's got the African rhythm. It's like, it's still African influenced, inspired. So we're like, what is this? I remember, I don't know if we asked the DJ or if we asked someone, like, what is this kind of music? We've never heard it before. And they told us Amapiano. This was years ago. And like I said, Afrobeats music wasn't popular. So I felt like the fact that we even just managed to stumble into this club that was just playing purely Amapiano, we stumbled. I wish I could remember the name. I really, really wish I could. I wish I could even remember where we went. I don't know, because it was just one of those drunk nights that we had. And so we just stumbled in there, and I'll just always remember that. Like when they said Amapiano, I was like, wow, Amapiano. I'm gonna have to remember that. Did not remember that after we danced. It was so good. And then I never heard it again. There was no event I went to. There was no one was playing on radio. I never heard anyone mention it again. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I wish at the time I just done my Google just to find out like where does that genre originate from. Didn't know it was from South Africa. But yeah, like the music is vibey. So I completely understand Tyler being on there. It makes sense. Amapiano has been doing excellently globally at the moment. Yeah, Amapiano's had a fantastic couple of years, and rightfully so. Music is great. So yeah, I think 4 Nigerian nominations and a South African. But what about like, is there any other like, I don't know, is there a Kenyan artist? Is there a Somalian artist? Is there Congolese artists? Like, whether it's from Kinshasa or Brazzaville? Is there any like Cameroonian artists? Is there any Zambian artists? Like, I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, and to be fair, because of course these artists have to submit their music, and I don't know what the actual requirements or prerequisites are to be able to submit your music. But I would have thought at least Diamond Platinum's, I mean, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to submit his music. I don't see why his team wouldn't, but I'm not sure if he's tried in the past and they've said no, and then he's just like not doing it. But I'm like, I would expect someone like Diamond Platinum's to submit his music. I would expect him to have a nomination. But yeah, I don't know. I was just expecting to see other African countries. Like, to say Africa and then only have like 2 countries is insane. Like, it's just actually insane to me. I don't know. That's just my personal take on that. The other thing is Tyler winning. Now, let me just start off by saying congratulations to Tyler. I think of all the songs that were submitted, it just made sense for her to win. Like, I can't lie to you, I just didn't understand them singing City Boys by Burna Boy. That really was just like, really? You really thought you was gonna win with that? But Arya Star, I felt like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. For me personally, I think this is why I was a bit like chuffed that. I think again for me, this is why I was a bit chuffed that there wasn't more representation of African countries, because I felt like it would have been good to see a full Black person win that award. This is the first time they've ever introduced this award. So it would have been good to see a fully blooded African artist win the award. No shade to Tyler. Girl is beautiful. Her voice, it sounds really pretty on that song. I haven't really gone to listen to any of her music because I don't really listen to secular music anymore. So I haven't checked out her catalogue. But from what I've heard of that song, it sounds pretty. I can understand why it did what it did. But I just feel like this is the first time in history you're introducing this award. It would just make sense that somebody who has been representing what African music is in its truest form, somebody who has been grinding and been doing their part to put Africa on the map globally in terms of music and entertainment, I would have loved to have seen somebody of that caliber win the award. So yeah, that's it. I so happy for Tyler. Again, there's no hate to the girl. She's a beautiful girl. Sounds like she's got a beautiful voice, and I'm sure she has an amazing long career ahead of her. And it's a big win for for Amapiano. It's a big win for South Africa. So shout out to them, like seriously. But yeah, I don't know. I just would have preferred it to be an artist that had actually been. It would have just made sense to honor somebody with that award who's actually been doing the work to make African music global, to make African music loved, and to produce African music at the highest quality. But regardless, I guess the category is there now. So hopefully this does mean that more African artists will stand a better fighting chance in getting this kind of recognition, because there are so many African artists who are doing incredible things, and they don't get the privilege of getting this award because they have got so many other people in the West to compete with. Okay, so let's get into some of the other wins. Now, the only other thing I really cared about, of course, was R&B. That's my genre at heart. I don't really care for the other genres, to be fair. R&B and gospel. Yeah, those are the genres that I was really kind of looking towards. Now, I saw SZA took some wins as well, which makes sense. I mean, I think her album was, from what I'm hearing from people, did really, really well. And the snippets of the songs I've heard, yeah, they sounded good. They were catchy, and you know, it's SZA. Like, she's got a great voice, and yeah, so it made sense that she took home some wins. Who else won an award? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, let me just actually go through the wins first, and then I'm going to get into what I really want to say, because I just remembered, and then I'm just like, bro, I'm really tired, by the way. So, like, I've literally been working all day, like literally all day. I literally finished working like an hour and a half ago, and I just had to have something quickly to eat before I came and record. I am knackered, but we move. You know, we have to content first. You know, this is the life now, so we have to make it work. Okay, cool. Let me just say Grammy. Okay, so we had Best New Artist. Okay, obviously we know Victoria Monet, my baby girl. I'm going to talk about her properly in a minute. I'm so glad that she won that. Absolutely deserved that. Then we had obviously Best Pop Duo Group Performance, and that was one of SZA's wins. So SZA featuring Phoebe Bridgers, Ghost in the Machine. Never heard the song, but it must have done what it needed to do because it won, child. I even saw Kylie Minogue won something, actually. Let me just see. I think it's something in the pop record, which I was like, Kylie Minogue, I didn't even know she's still making music. Yeah, here it is. Best pop dance recording. Padam Padam, Kylie Minogue. I did not know she was still making music, so I was like, shout you, sis. So Kylie Minogue is one of those people, like, for the longest time, I thought her and her sister, I think her sister is Danny Minogue, I thought they were British for the longest time. When I found out they were from, is it Australia? Yeah, Australia. So when I found out Kylie Minogue and her sister were from Australia, I felt deceived. Like, genuinely, I, for the longest time, thought they were British. Like, you couldn't tell me otherwise. I literally knew Kylie and her sister were British. So that's hilarious. But yeah, she really is like a British sweetheart. She's loved over here. I don't know why, but we just love her. She is one of those national treasures here in the UK. Spinning around out of my head. Anyways, I heard nowadays they be flagging you even for just singing the song. So I'm not going to be singing no songs like that. R&B, rap and spoken word poetry. ICU winner Coco Jones. We're going to get into her in a minute as well. That was really good. I'm so happy to hear that. Best R&B song. This was the Songwriters Award. Snooze won that. So that was a good win for SZA and her team. And then obviously Best Progressive R&B Album. SZA won that as well with SOS. And then Best R&B Album was our girl, Victoria Monet with Jaguar 2. Oh gosh, we're definitely going to talk about this, which was Best Rap Song, when the Grammys announced that Nicki Minaj won and Ice Spice for Barbie World, and then announced that it was a mistake. Definitely going to get into that. Definitely going to get into that. Obviously, the gospel ones. I mean, if Kirk Franklin doesn't win, is it even... You know, like, Kirk Franklin is always going to win a gospel award, so that's no surprise. Lecrae as well. Lecrae took home 2 awards as well. And then I think, is it Ty Tribbett? I think his name is. Let me just... I can never say his name right. I don't know if it's just me. Is anybody else like that? I can never say his... I think it's like Ty Tribbett or Ty Tibbet. He's a gospel artist, a big time gospel artist. Ty Tribbett. Ty Tribbett. Okay, he won gospel album. I think Kirk Franklin won best gospel song, performance song. Yes, that's it. And then Lecrae was Christian contemporary performance, and then best contemporary Christian music album. So, I mean, yeah, that's why I just find it so interesting that there was never an African category, because even within the certain categories, they've broken it down so much that you've got contemporary Christian album, you've got R&B progressive album, then R&B classical album. I'm like, so, and you can do all of that breaking down, but you can't do best African artist or best African performance. Like, that's just insane to me. Anyways, child. So yeah, SZA took home some wins, so shout outs to her. Victoria Monet. My good sis, Victoria Monet. Let me tell you, when I first heard Victoria Monet, I was genuinely so confused why this girl wasn't already famous. Like, I remember being in secondary school thinking, Oh, because this was the time. I remember when I was finishing secondary school, we were transitioning now away from the era of like the Ashantis and A. Marie's and Cassie's and, you know, Destiny's Child. We're coming away from all of those kind of like R&B acts. And we're moving into more of this modern sound where you've got kind of like other genres influencing the R&B a little bit. So when I heard Victoria Monet, I thought this girl is the future. Like I genuinely believed that. I was like, this girl is absolutely the future. She is like I just felt like her interpretation of sound was just so different at the time from what we were used to hearing. Around the time I was finishing secondary school, the sound of R&B was changing quite a lot. Like people were infusing more like pop into the R&B, hip hop was becoming more infused with R&B. Like the sound was changing a lot. There was like dance was coming more into R&B. Like even artists that were previous to like Sierra, for example, like she was now changing up even more. Like she'd come away from I can't leave him alone to more like that song. What she do with Justin Timberlake, love and it's magic, but there so like the R&B sound was changing. Like, an R&B artist that was still, you know, moving on into this new sound were changing their sound as well. So Victoria Monet was like a perfect blend of like traditional R&B and the future. Like that's how I always heard her. So this was 13 years ago that I first heard her. And I heard her because of Eric Belliger, who at the time I was following religiously because he used to write on a lot of records and produce with Tank, who I've been listening to forever. If you know me, you know that. And because I don't listen to secular music much anymore, I haven't listened to her recent project, Victoria Monet. But when I heard, On My Mama was like everywhere. You couldn't escape On My Mama. You know, it was just like Tyler Water. Like it was literally everywhere. And it's a brilliant song. Like it is a brilliant song. That one I did actually listen to in its full entirety. And yeah, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Sis, she did her big one with this. So no surprises that she won awards for that. But yeah, I just remember being like, this girl is fire. And I think one of the things that kind of annoyed me about the early stages of her career is that she's amazing, so much better than some of the artists that were coming up at the time and that were becoming really popular. She's beautiful. And she seems just like really humble and like really cool, really chill, but like super talented. But no one's giving her the time of day. Like she wasn't performing anywhere. Like if it was, I only heard her again for Welll because she was on a mixtape of his. I think it was, no, I even heard her before that, but the mixtape that she was on with him, when I saw she was on there, I was like, this just like confirms. I was like, from then I knew I was a fan. And I think the song they did, it was like Born to Sing Volume 1, I think it was. That was one of his early mixtapes. And yeah, she was featuring on a song with him on there. I think it's called Somewhere. And when I heard her on that, I just said, yeah. Like, if she doesn't blow up, then I don't know for the music industry to get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Even Eric Belliger, I was like, I don't even know why nobody is giving this guy a real chance to, like, do his big one. Because that man can sing and he can write and he can produce. Like, he's literally an all-round star in terms of, like, just when it comes to, like, quality R&B. I just felt like they were the underdogs for so long. Same way with, like, JoJo. Like you've got these beautifully talented people who are faithful to the art of music and like they take it so seriously. They have studied the greats. Like they have literally mastered their craft to a T. Like they can write and sing and produce in their sleep. Like it's just second nature to them. They love music and you could just feel that with every project, every body of work, even other people they wrote for. It got to a point where I would know, oh, Victoria Monet contributed on that for sure, she wrote that, or I knew Eric Bellinger definitely wrote that, or I knew Tank definitely. Like these artists, like solid artists, like so talented, make hits for other people, but nobody is prepared to listen to their own music. Why? Because it's not even like these people are not good singers or the songs they're making are not hits. They are hits. This is good music. Like I'm there, I'm what, 14, 15, I'm like, bruh, probably 15, 16 actually. I'm like, bruh, why is nobody putting these people on? Like, why is nobody trying to find out what these people can do? Because if this is what they're producing with their limited resources, imagine when you give them the full package, what they'll be able to do. They'll change this whole thing. But nobody was checking for them. I think one of her most like pivotal opportunities was when she started working with Ariana Grande. Because by this point, she'd already worked with Nas, she'd already worked with Fifth Harmony, Little Mix, she'd already worked with so many people. I can't even remember all the names of it, like T.I. She'd worked with so many like big artists and written their songs for them, some of their biggest hits for them. But I think when she linked up with Ariana Grande was like one of the first few people that actually was like, open for me, go and open for me, do your thing, sing. You sing as Victoria Monet, not as Ariana Grande's writer or best friend. Go and sing as you, the artist. And I think that's when a lot of other people now started to be like, oh, okay, who is this girl? This beautifully brown skin, you know, girl with this beautiful voice and these sultry lyrics. And like, I think that's when people started to kind of listen, but still no one else was like saying, hey, let's book Victoria Monet. I never saw her perform anywhere. And that used to frustrate me. You know, when you're such a fan of an artist, I'm like, I want to see her perform everywhere. I want to see her do everything. But no one was rushing to come and come and pick her up and say, hey, come and perform here, okay, come and do this. But it never demotivated her from what we could see, at least as fans on the outside. She always was still consistent with the pen, putting out music for others, putting out music for herself. And I just couldn't help but stand back then. Like, I was literally like, Victoria Monet, that was my girl. And then it just got real quiet. Like, I just wasn't hearing her. If it wasn't something to do with Ariana Grande, I wasn't hearing Victoria Monet. And I was like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. I hope she hasn't given up. I hope she hasn't like just, you know, thought, this isn't for me anymore. Because girl, this is for you. You are an artist. Like, you're not just a songwriter, you're an artist. You have the package. Like, you're actually gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. You've got the talent down to a T. You can sing and you can write your bum off. You have to sing. And I was like, if I could personally just speak to her, be like, girl, please just keep putting out projects, at least for those of us who've been following you this far along, please do it. And then she came out with a song called Do You Want So yeah, she came out with a song called Freak, and she did a remix with Bia. When I saw her in that video and that song, I said, oh, Victoria Monet. Oh, so that's what you was doing. You was cooking. You said, okay, they don't want to hear me, but they're going to see me. And I knew something had changed, because even like the video, I was like, oh, you've got budget. Like, you have money. Obviously, I know the credentials, like the royalty checks were definitely coming in by this point, because she's been in it a couple years now, and a lot of the songs that she's written have like been chart hitters, right? So I'm like, okay, the money's rolling in. She must have a team now, because the production on this is just like the sound, the visuals, it's giving you've got money now. And you've got people backing your vision. So when she said what she said at the Grammys about that lady at the label, leaving that label to come and support her, it made so much sense, because I was like, the switch up was crazy. When she came out, I said, oh, okay, Victoria Monet, I see you. I see you. Like, I literally see you. And I was like, I was so here for it. And even though, like I said, I've phased out of like listening to secular music, I don't really listen to it as much anymore. Or sometimes at all. So I'm really not hip to what's new and everything. I was like, the joy I felt when she started winning awards, when I could see her performing more. Even the BET Awards, the BET Awards really tried her, making her perform at the pre-show instead of the actual award show. When you let some of those artists that can't even rap for 4 bars without taking a breath. Tell me how you want. I got it. Who's gonna do it better? Yes. Like, I don't know why they be playing in women's faces like this. Like, there's no reason why Victoria Monet shouldn't have been on the main stage at the BET Awards, but I think it was 2022 or 2021 that she was doing the performance on the pre-show, and that's the first time they've ever invited her to do that. I said the first time, and this is the first time she's getting to perform at the BET. Come on, man. That should have been a place that should have been giving her bookings from early. From early. Oh no, I was disappointed. I said the pre-show, not even the main stage. And then at the MTV Awards, they were like, it's too soon. Too soon for what? This girl has been cooking at that point for over a decade. I think she's ready. I think she is ready. And anyway, she got Jimmy Fallon now and all these other amazing opportunities where she's been performing live and stuff and showcasing her talent. Obviously, she's done her Jaguar tour as well. And yeah, I just feel like, you know what? Good. When they said Victoria Monet, oh my mama, I was like, that just like, it just did something to me in here, man. Because what it just showed me is that it still pays to have integrity in this industry. It still pays to be somebody who is committed to improving their craft. It still pays to work hard. Because at the moment, there's this sense of like, if it hasn't gone viral, if you don't have 1 million views, if you don't have 1 million likes, if you don't have this many followers, then you're not doing anything. My girl didn't have anything for over a decade, apart from them royalties. But for ages, this talented, beautiful woman was just out there. Nobody was trying to hear that. Nobody was trying to see that. Nobody was trying to give her an opportunity like that. Like, that's just crazy. But you know what? From what we saw as fans, she never stopped believing in herself. She never stopped working. She never stopped improving her craft. She just kept getting better. Every project was better than the last. Every visual was better than the last. It just made you excited. So when she did the first Jaguar, I knew the money was in. I knew now the team was serious. They're like, we are going to prepare it so that you are not just going to win some flimsy MTV award. You are going to win a Grammy. And she didn't just win one, 3. As she said herself on that stage, 15 years in the game. 15 years in the game. I saw some of the faces in the audience. People were like, "Raw, you've been in the industry that long." 15 years in the game, and she's only in the last 2 years really started to get any kind of recognition. That's crazy. But from here, it can only go up. The only thing that matters is that you stay true to you, that you stay true to the craft that you love. And that even when everything gave you the reason to give up, you didn't. That's what her testimony is. I love it so much. Even when I see JoJo, like if you know me, you know how much JoJo means to me. That was my girl growing up. When I heard her sing the first time, I knew for a fact I wanted to be a singer. There was nothing in me that didn't know I wanted to be a singer when I heard JoJo sing, because she hit a note that I said, I've only ever heard myself hit that note. I've never really heard any artist my age hit those kind of notes. And she was hitting them flawlessly, effortlessly. So I would sing along to her, practicing, because anybody was going to take me to no vocal training. No one was going to pay for me to go and do any kind of singing lessons or musical theatre school or anything like that. No, it was me, my room, and I. And when I heard her sing, I said, I am going to sing. And I'm going to keep listening to her. And I'm going to practice. I'm going to get better at my writing. And I'm going to get better at my singing. When I see JoJo now come back around and just take back what was taken from her, it makes me so happy. When I hear someone as young as Coco Jones, who's been in the industry since she was a kid, Disney was like, we don't know what to do with you. And she was like, bet. I'm not gonna give up on me. I'm gonna give you a reason to find out what you're gonna do with me. And she has come back and she has just dominated. I love those stories so much, especially because all of those artists I just mentioned to you, they are true students of the art of music. They are following the paths of those who came before them. These are the artists that respect the legends of the genres they're in. These are the artists that studied what the legends were doing to become the best that they were. These are artists that weren't rushing for the fame or for the limelight. They were working to be the best in their field, to be the best in what they do. That I will always commend and applaud it, and I will always promote. All of this other stuff is just noise to my ears. That's why I do not miss listening to secular music, because a lot of the music nowadays is garbage, trash, rubbish, low vibration, or whatever you want to call it. It gives me a headache. Like, I literally cannot believe it that I'm that generation that says you young people's music is giving me a headache, turn it off. But that is me. Okay, call me auntie if you want. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, they're actually talking nothing. So it makes me so happy when I see the artists like that, like JoJo, like Victoria Monet, like Coco Jones. They're getting their flowers now. They're getting their recognition. They're making their stamp in the industry, and people are starting to realize, you know what? We need real music back, because we do. This other senseless stuff, I'm ready for it to die anytime. Even though I'm not listening to it like that, I can't escape it because, especially because of what I do, everywhere I go, this kind of music is playing. Where was I today, actually? No, it wasn't even today, it was yesterday. I can't remember where I was. And they were playing a song. I was thinking, really? Where was I? I really can't remember where I was. But yeah, they were playing like, obviously, like Chris Brown and Chloe. They were playing, I don't know, they're just playing so many songs that from different artists. And I was just like, yeah, you could really just turn this off. I could sit here in silence. It's okay. Like, you don't have to play music while I'm here. It was giving me a headache. But yeah, I don't know. The music nowadays is it's just not like before. I want artists who are artists. And so one thing I can say is that with some of the Christian music I've been listening to, and I'm going to plug my Christian playlist here actually, so you guys can check out some of these Christian artists if you're into that. If you want to listen to music with more of a purpose, more of a meaning, that lifts up your spirits and, you know, you can still dance to, then you definitely want to check out my Christian playlist. I'm going to kind of like just flash it here before you guys and then link it in the description box below. But yeah, go check out those artists because, you know, yeah, I don't know, maybe it is because I'm a Christian now, born again. There's just certain things I can't listen to that without it just like, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like I can't. Anyways, point being, I'm so happy that Victoria Monet won those awards. I'm so happy that Coco Jones won an award. Since a winning award makes absolute sense. But the Grammys overall, now I'm just going to touch on Nicki Minaj because, like I said, I haven't really been watching award shows for like almost 10 years. Like I can't remember even which award show I was watching one time. It might have been a BET Awards show or something like that. And I was just watching it and I was just like I was predicting the wins at this point. Like it was just getting ridiculous. I was like, I just know who's going to win. I know who's going to win in this category. I know who's going to win in this category because there's obviously clear favorites, there's clear biases, and it's not fair. I don't think that some of the wins that people have, they deserve. So that's the only part of Jay-Z's speech I kind of agreed with when he said that some people shouldn't even be in certain categories. Everything else he said, garbage. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Nicki Minaj. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, Nicki Minaj literally gave Megan Thee Stallion her first #1. She gave Megan Thee Stallion her first. Nicki Minaj has been on a rant for like over a week about Megan Thee Stallion, Rock Nation, etc., etc. And yeah, I mean, listen, I was a Young Money fan. Do you get it? Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Drake, Lil Twist. I loved these artists. Okay, like I loved them. If you're somebody who grew up on that 2000s era of music, YMCMB, that was everything. Bedrock, everything. Do you understand? Like Up All Night, everything. But yeah, I was a Nicki Minaj fan. I loved Nicki. Like, who didn't? How could you not love Nicki Minaj? Like, Nicki Minaj was that girl. Okay, she was exactly who she thought she was. She was. Okay, Nicki Minaj, even in her like pop EDM area, every artist had that in like the 2010s. It was a stressful time, but even then, I was still vibing to her music. Like Nicki Minaj was really that girl. And I did also think it was very weird that she was snubbed for so many different awards, despite doing what only she could do. Nobody else, there was no woman rapper at the time who was coming up that could compete against her. She was an absolute machine. Okay, like she was just phenomenal because she could switch up her flow. She could get on any type of beat. She could rap. She had the looks. Like it was just a full package of Nicki Minaj. You couldn't go wrong. And she's gonna give you lyrics. Like she's actually gonna bar for bar. Like she's gonna go bar for bar. So seeing her kind of like spiral the way she's been spiraling this week with the whole Meg Thee Stallion thing, and just overall in the last couple of years, like beefing with all the young girls, it's just it's strange. And it just makes you wonder, like, did you ever really know anything about the artist at all? That's just how I'm looking at it. Like, was she always this kind of weird or types? I mean, I've talked about this in my other Let's Talk video about being girls, and how, you know, a lot of the time a lot of women are not girls, and it's fine. Just say that you're not. Don't keep saying that you are and expecting women to bat for you when you know that's not how you are. And that's not what you would do if you're put in the same situation. So yeah, I just think she's definitely not a girl's girl. I think that's just evident as ever. And she has this sort of, she expects this kind of weird loyalty that I don't think that, especially the new girls, I don't think they owe her that. you know, even if you've done a feature with them or whatever the case might be, I don't think that they should now that their career should just stop there because they've had a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. They've had a collaboration with Nicki Minaj should mean that they should be able to go on and springboard and do other amazing things, you know what I mean? And you should be happy for that. You should be championing for that, because all that work you've been putting in is so that these girls could come up behind you and do what they're doing now. So the energy she's been giving off recently is weird. I don't like it. It is weird. And again, this is not an attack on her, because I really don't know what's going on in her life at the moment. She does seem quite miserable. And again, I was a fan, so I want to, you know, give her some grace. But yeah, it's just weird. It's the energy she's putting out at the moment is very weird. Husband and all that aside. But yeah, so the Grammys. Obviously, she was put up there for, was it Best Rap Song? Yeah, Best Rap Song. And Killer Mike won. I don't know who Killer Mike is, but he won for Best Rap Song. In that same category, actually, Attention by Doja Cat. I don't think I've ever heard that song. Barbie World, obviously, from the Barbie album, which is Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice. And then Lil Uzi Vert, Just Wanna Rock, which is interesting. I didn't think they'd put that in there. And then Drake and 21 Savage, Rich Flex. So I don't know who Killer Mike is, but he seems to be very loved and very well respected in America. And he seems to have been in the industry for a very long time, longer than I've been alive. So he's definitely got his foot and his roots in the industry, and he's definitely got a solid fan base. So congratulations to him as well for his win. But they announced Nicki Minaj as being the winner first. And then they were like, oops, sorry, made a mistake. What? Like, what? How do you make that kind of mistake? How? And it just kind of validates a lot of what Nicki Minaj has been saying. How can she have done half of the things that she's done globally as a female rapper, as a woman rapper, and never receive a Grammy? That's insane. You can be nominated all these times and never win one? That's insane. And I hear it's all because she just annoyed one of the, I don't know, one guy at the top somewhere. It's always one guy at the top somewhere. And it's like ever since then, he was like, you're never winning this award. Your whole life, you'll be chasing it and you'll never win it. Because that's basically what's happening. Okay. But yeah, I in that sense, there's a few things that's happened over the years where I'm just like, you know, I can see why Nicki Minaj is annoyed at the industry, but I think she needs to remain, her annoyance needs to remain at the industry and not at the girls. Because this is where where you would have had the support from these other girls fan base, you've now lost it because you're attacking their faves. And as you can see, these could this be considered a mental health ailment, like to be a stan of a celebrity? Because this is beyond even idol worshipping. I don't even know what this is anymore. Like at this point, I'm convinced some of these people would sacrifice their lives for these celebrities that wouldn't throw even a cup of water if they were on fire. Like it's just crazy. I can understand liking someone, supporting them, being happy for them, wanting to see them, you know, have the best and whatever. I can get that. I can, but I can't understand doxing people's information. I can't understand wishing death on people. I can't understand, you know, going out of your way to threaten people and try and expose people because they don't support your favorite artist. It's just weird. So yeah, that was just weird. I don't know, like the Grammys, like I said, for me, I just feel like award shows in general, I just feel like they have their favorites and that's who's gonna win every year. Like in certain categories, like you just expect certain artists to win every year. Like that's just what it is. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, right, when I was a child, the Grammys was like, I don't know, it was like the epitome of like everything that you'd want to achieve as a musician. Like it felt like it didn't matter what you did in this life as a musician if you didn't get a Grammy. It's like if you didn't get a Grammy at the end of everything you've done, it's like you've done nothing in your music career, right? So to me, I looked at the Grammys as like this, I don't know, like this just like this amazing, outstanding achievement that if you get the honor, if you get the privilege to get even one or even nominated for one, it changes everything about your legacy forever, right? And so I always assumed that how they were rewarding it was because the music that was being submitted was music that literally would unify nations, would bring world peace. Like for a moment in time, there was no war. Everybody just wanted to listen to the latest Michael Jackson album. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like people would come out from wherever they were in the world just to hear this artist's song, to the point where a song could even change the narrative or change the narrative of whatever was happening in society on a political level, on a social level, things that would actually shape the culture in that time, in that period of time. Like, that was, to me, like, your song or your album, whatever it was, needed to be of that magnitude, of that level, for you to even be nominated, let alone to win the award. Now it just seems like, have a viral song. And to me, this is where in the same breath, I'm happy my faves are, my old faves, my childhood faves are starting to get the recognition from the Academy. I'm also like, they're giving these out like they're a pack of sweets. They're like, okay, you get 3, you get 2, you get 5, you get 1, you get, like, it's just like, where's the prestige? Where's the, I don't know, where's the quality control? I know music is super subjective, and I doubt that these critics are generally people that listen to all genres favorably or in the same way, right? I'm pretty sure they all have a particular thing that they like, and I think it's very obvious year after year by who wins certain categories, but story for another day. But my point is, if you are supposed to be this acclaimed critic, somebody who is worthy of being on a board that judges music on this scale, to give the highest honor, to give the highest award to an artist, which will literally change the legacy of their music career forever, I would expect there to be a higher requirement to even be able to enter, if that makes sense, to even be able to submit your songs. Because some of the people that have won awards in the last 20 years, I'm like, how? And I'm not going to name names because, again, I'm not discrediting what these people have done. But compared to who they were up against in certain categories, I'm like, no way. No way. Like, just no way. It doesn't make sense. But what I will say is that when it comes to award shows, I just want better for Black people. Like, it's just so disappointing sometimes to see Black people being consistently snubbed of things that, in my opinion, I don't even know how you can look anywhere else. What is a Grammy now? I think that's what I'm just trying to understand, is what does it mean to have a Grammy now? Because you see, when Celine Dion and Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson were getting Grammys, that made sense to me. I mean, look how long ago Michael Jackson passed, and you've still got fresh babies. When they hear a Michael Jackson song, they know the words, they can dance to it. I can't see half of the artists who have won a Grammy in the last 10 years having that kind of impact. I'm so sorry. I can't. Yeah, I don't know, like, what are award shows now? Like, do they still have value? Do they still have meaning? Yes, of course they do, but it's just making me think about, like, kind of when Billboard said that they were going to start, they were creating a Billboard charts for TikTok songs. For me, when they said they were going to create a Billboard chart for TikTok songs, I knew something was wrong. Okay, I knew something was wrong, because I said, I get it. A lot of music goes viral on TikTok. I get it. Like, a lot of people find out songs from TikTok, blah, blah. I totally get that. But you are the billboards. To get a #1 on the billboards 10 years ago, your life would change. That was to get #1 on the billboards, that was not an easy task. Now people be getting #1s left, right, and center. I'm like, nah. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit skeptic now. I'm a bit skeptical now because of how much the industry has changed and how much digital streaming and, like, social media has influenced what is considered good music. Because people are looking at views and, analytics, instead of actually looking at the impact it's having on the culture. Like, as much as I have not been a fan of Drake for a very long time, the fact is he is one of the biggest artists in the world. He just is. And so I can understand his gripes at being, maybe not being snubbed of Grammys that he feels like he was deserving of or owed, because he has contributed majorly to the hip hop genre. That is just a fact. So I can see why he'd be a bit salty. I mean, that guy is a very strange guy. And we'll talk about him another day. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced entirely that the award shows are carrying the same level of prestige that they once were. I feel like they've allowed virality, they've allowed social media to kind of take over. And it's no longer about the quality of everything. It's more just so about, you know, how many streams did it get across all the streaming platforms? That's what it feels like sometimes. Like, oh, okay, they got 50 million streams and I get that. But I'm like, digital streams and like physical impact is not necessarily the same thing. There are millions of songs I come across on Spotify that have got like 30 million listens. I've never heard that song, not on radio, not on an ad, nowhere a day in my life. So for me, I can't say that song has had any cultural impact because in that genre that I listen to, I've never heard that song. And I've never heard anyone talking about that song. I've never seen that song. Yes, 30 million people have listened to it, but it hasn't had an impact to that genre. It's just that people like this artist and they've liked that song. Fair enough. For it to have impact, it needs to contribute so culturally to the genre and also to that period of time. That's just my opinion, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not even saying it's how it should be judged. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I would definitely be looking at what impact has this song had on this genre. What impact has this song had at this time, at this particular time when it came out? In like Booed Up for LMA. Booed Up for LMA, that was culturally shifting. You had men singing Booed Up and making all kind of videos with their bass, trying to, you know, replicate the music video. Like, it was culturally shifting. And it's so funny because it became so popular a year after it had come out. And she won a Grammy for that, rightfully so, because that made a huge impact to her genre. So her winning that Grammy to me made absolute sense. It did something for the genre. It did something socially. It got everybody. That song was, and to the point where, because I would have really listened to the song when it first came out, because I was an LMA fan from years back, and so I'd already heard the song. And then a year later, to hear it being played as if it's brand new, it was kind of like, bruh. Like, I've heard this song so many times because I used to listen to it all the time, and now it's like everywhere because everyone's now finally heard it. There was unity between the men and women. For the first time in a long time, men and women weren't fighting each other. There was no man v women discourse. Everybody was just booed up, doo-da, a-dee-dee-da-da, booed up. Everybody was just happy, right? And it was everywhere. And I was like, yes, that makes sense. You win the Grammy for that, rightfully so. Who can contest that? You'd be insane. I don't know. For me, I am a musician. I am an artist. I do sing. I love to sing. I love songwriting. And I love music. And I am committed to growing and developing as an artist. And I plan to sing until I literally cannot sing anymore. And that's just what it is. Like, I am committed to creating with love. I mean, it'd be wonderful to receive accolades somewhere down the line. Wonderful. But as long as my music is reaching who it needs to reach and I can perform it, oh, I'm the happiest. Obviously, and earn money from it as well. Like, let's be for real, because it's expensive to make music out here. Let's not even be fronting and make money from it. Then I'm as happy as one can be. But yeah, I just feel like there needs to be a respect for the art of music. I think we need to go back to having a sort of I don't want to use the word reverence, but this just sort of like, yeah, just respect for music and for what it means to make music, because music is so powerful, like extremely powerful. Like, music can change emotions. It can make people do things or not do things. It can make people feel things and not feel things. Music is tied to so many memories in life. It can trigger things. It can make you think about things and discuss things that you wouldn't normally. Like, music is powerful. And the way this newer crop of artists are treating music, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. It puts me on the edge of my seat. I do not like it. I want us to get back to a place of just having a little bit more respect for the art of music. Go and do your homework. Go and do your Googles. Take time to really master your craft. Like, go and do what you need to do to be the best at what you do. Like, I'm not saying there isn't a space for mediocrity and for low vibrational stuff. There is. There always has been and there always will be. But it can't be that 90% of music is low vibrational and trash and just sex fueled and crime fueled and whatever, and then only 10% of it is good. Like, we need to even the score a little bit. Like, we need to even the score. It's just too much. It's too much. Like, and if you people are, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there isn't a space for depressed and sad music. Like, there is a space for that, because music is a way of expressing. And a lot of the time, a lot of times when people write some of their best songs is the songs they've written from pain, from feeling low. But some of you are going too low. Like, some of you now, we're in hell. Do you know what I mean? Like, the music is literally in hell. Like, we need to just raise it up. Let's at least be on the surface of earth. Do you get it? Like, let's come back up, because it's too much. It's too dark. I don't know. I want better for the younger generation. I really do. Like, I really want them to be able to have music that's like timeless. And I don't feel like they have that. They have microwave music. They have viral music. They have like just straight up demonic music. They don't have anything uplifting, anything like that makes you just want to dance, that makes you just want to have a good time with your friends. Like, I feel sometimes I'm like, I'm so lucky to have been born in the time I was, because we had music we could literally, you could just meet up with your friend just to dance to a song. And so they come over and then we just literally dancing to Justin Timberlake for hours. And we've had the best time of our lives, like happy as happy can be. Even if I do nothing else that day, that week, I am happy, because for 2 hours, me and my friend danced after school to Justin Timberlake. Like, we had music we could just enjoy and have a good time to, that made us feel good about ourselves, that affirmed us. Anyways, point being, music is not in a safe space right now. I don't like music right now, from what I'm hearing. But thank God, like I said, for the Christian artists who are out here doing their thing. The Christian artists are really doing their thing. Like, they're really, really in their bag right now. Like, the quality is getting better. The lyricism is getting better. Like, the production is just getting better. Everything is getting better. And I'm really, really impressed. Like, I really didn't know that there was like contemporary Christian music like this. The only thing I ever really knew about was like hip hop. But I never knew there was R&B. I never knew there was Afro beats, apart from like proper African, you know, gospel songs. I never knew that people were just in all these alt genres singing about the love of the Lord Jesus Christ. I am so happy that as well as my more traditional like Christian playlist, I can also have this more upbeat rhythmic playlist that I can sing along to when I'm driving somewhere, and I'm still giving all praise to God. You know, it's really, really good. So yeah, I just think that literally, if you're like me and you know the secular music just ain't hitting, don't worry about it. The Christian artists have got you. God has got you. I'm gonna, like I said, plug my playlist right here so you can listen to it, check it out, check out the artists. Yeah, and that's it really for this Let's Talk. I feel like I've been a bit all over the place because I'm so tired, but I just knew that I had to get this content out today, because if I don't do it today, there's gonna be no time to edit. Blah blah blah. You know how the game goes. Like, I think we're all content creators partially in this day and age, so you know the vibes. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about some of the things I've said. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be like, girl, no, like, or there's going to be some people that will be like, yes, I totally agree, or you're going to have your completely own theory. Whatever it is, please leave it down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts, and let's just keep the discussion going. And if you haven't yet already, please make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe, and that you follow the socials at TalksLadyB. Until next time, bye.